Hi guys, and welcome back to another Get OTT with me. I have not done one of these in a long time, and that's really because there hasn't really been anything on my mind that I kind of want to sit down and talk about. But today I thought of something, and so now today we're going to sit down and talk about that. So I do apologize that there was no video last week. That is because it was really kind of a lot going around at the house. It is summer now, so more people in the house, more people, just moving around and making noise and listening to high volume TVs, and it's a little bit difficult for me to record all the time, so unfortunately I wasn't able to really record anything last week. But this week is a very good week, so I'm probably going to be recording this. I'm probably going to be recording a couple of dress reviews, so we'll have those for the upcoming weeks. And gradually as summer ends, we will get back into the regular swing of things. So for today's Get OTT with me, you guys voted, and the by far most picked color combination was yellow and pink. So today I'm going to be putting together a yellow and pink coordinate while we talk about something that I kind of remembered this morning was something that I could talk about if I wanted to record a Get OTT with me. So, if you have not looked at today's title yet, which how else did you get here, as I put on my signature bear ears, today's topic of discussion is going to be lifestyle Lolitas for clout. Okay, now before we start this topic, as I decide whether or not I want to include my Rare Unicorn Macaron Dessert Station head bow in the yellow colorway, I am not referring to anyone in particular with this video. I think this might be a little bit too much. Is it too much? Is it too much? For now I'll hold off on it. If I decide that I want it at the end of things, I'll put it on. For right now, I need to put my accessories up there, so I will be putting this on the side. But as I was saying, this video is not going to be about anyone in particular. If you think I'm talking about someone specifically, I am not talking about that person. I barely use Instagram as it is, so even if there is someone who kind of like fits this mold in your mind, I'm probably not talking about them because I probably don't know who they are. Like, I am such a noob when it comes to social media. I'm a major boomer. I have no idea like who popular people are. I follow some people, I'm aware of some people because of the Lolita subreddit, or they have a YouTube channel, but like in general, just like the idea of influencers, I have absolutely no idea. I do not know who these people are. So if you think I'm talking about someone in specific, I regret to inform you that I am not. But I am really talking about this general group of like people who claim to be interested in Lolita fashion, but it's only for clout. And what do I mean by that? So basically these are people who, I'm just going to be searching for my pink and yellow accessories while we talk. Basically these are people who come to like the Lolita subreddit and they start questioning like how can they join the fashion? This doesn't happen. I'm not saying this is like a raging epidemic, but here and there this has happened. So basically these people will come to the Lolita subreddit and be like, I'm interested in getting into the fashion. Speaking of the fashion, before I start, I am wearing my Honey Cake Cafe skirt and my yellow blouse from VCastle. So that's what the coordinate is going to be today, and I need to figure out a nice place to put this because it's not sitting on the strap the way I want it to. But anyway, so someone will come to the Lolita subreddit every now and then saying they want to get into the fashion. Now, we're of course all raising our hands, jumping for joy, praising the Lord, because, okay, the more people that are into the fashion, that's kind of like our end goal, is to like make Lolita fashion like more mainstream. In the West, at least. Like, I know in places like Japan and China, they're not as looked down upon. It's like weird, like wacky out there fashions like you would see like in the West. Like, if I were to go out wearing this, I'd probably get some weird looks. But like, so every time that it so happens that someone, shows up and is interested in the fashion, we're all happy and excited about that. And then we're like, oh, okay, so you're interested in the fashion. And the person is like, yeah, like, could you really just tell me about, like, the Lolita lifestyle? Like, give me, like, the information about the Lolita diet, like, the daily Lolita schedule, like, when you guys get up in the morning, like, what do you eat? Like, where do you go? Like, to, like what kind of places and things like that. Like, this is, like, there was really a person who did that. She came in asking about the Lolita diet. And so we're all here, like, I think you're confused. So we were really like confused. My wig keeps getting in my mouth, so I apologize if you keep seeing me try to push it out of my face. I'm just trying to not continuously have to keep moving it out of my face. But anyway, this person came in here, and this was like months ago. This person came in here asking about the Lolita diet. And we're all sitting here like, so that's not a thing. And it's like, another thing she posted was like, she was like, oh, by the way, here's a picture of me, just so you can kind of like see like what I'm working with. And so I was like, you could kind of tell she was like an Instagrammer, like an Instagram like modeler or influencer or something of that nature, like, because you're talking about Lolita, the lifestyle, then you're talking about the Lolita diet, and then you're like, by the way, here's a picture of me. Now, generally speaking, when it comes to people who are actually interested in Lolita, generally among the first things they tend to ask is, so how do I get the dress? Like, this person did not mention one brand, did not mention one like sub-style, like sweet, classic gothic, like what are you actually into? Like where do you plan to get the dresses? Like what is your budget like? Not a single question about actually obtaining the fashion was in play here. So we're all just kind of like, I think this is not really what you think it is. I'm probably gonna go for the VCastle for this coordinate. So we're all sitting here like, I don't know that this fashion is really what you think it is. Like you think there's a diet, you think there's like certain behaviors that we do. Like that's really not the vibe that Lolita fashion is. And I do want to, be very clear here, because there are a lot of, things associated with like the Lolita culture, if you were, like having tea parties, drinking tea in general, like eating macarons, like having picnics, having meetups in general. Like all of these things are perfectly fine. Like these are not things that are not allowed in Lolita. These are things that we enjoy. These are things that we partake in. And I have absolutely no problem in doing any of those things. I do some of those things, like having the macarons and the tea parties and things like that. Those are perfectly fine things to associate with, again, quote unquote, Lolita culture. But like, if that's the only thing you're interested in, it feels like you're kind of interested in the fashion for probably the wrong reasons. So like that's kind of where we were at that. And so we like kind of tried to tell her like, I don't really think that you want to be in Lolita for the reason that the rest of us are into the fashion. So we're kind of gonna like recommend that if you are actually interested in this fashion, that you kind of like look a little bit more into what the fashion actually entails, because that's kind of my thing with these people, is that it's not really that they're interested in Lolita fashion because they like Lolita fashion. They're interested in Lolita fashion because it's something, this is gonna sound harsh and I don't really care because I don't like these people, but like it sounds like they really just want to be Lolita for the clout that it gives them and like the amount of Instagram followers that they can get, because like everyone knows like, aesthetics are like a huge thing. Like ever since like the era of Tumblr, like the idea of aesthetics is like super huge on like social media and things like that. So just tagging your pictures on Instagram as Lolita is going to get you a following. And if you're already popular and you already have a following, adding Lolita into that is going to like skyrocket you into having a bigger following. Now, I'm not saying that this person was going to instantly overnight become a popular Lolita, but I'm just saying she already had a following on Instagram. So if she was just going to like transfer that into the Lolita sphere, she was probably going to get a, sizable amount of fans because people like Lolita. People like the cute aesthetic. And that's just the thing. Like, we have no idea what sub-style this person was interested in. We have no idea what like color palette she was interested in. We don't know what brand she was interested in, because all she cared about was like the idea of things that she could post on Instagram and get clout for. So basically just I envision this person as like getting up in the morning and drinking my Lolita tea for the day. Later on I'm going to have a Lolita read and sit down and read one of my favorite novels in my Lolita sphere, in my Lolita space. And later on I'm going to probably take a Lolita walk. And just things that she could just post on Instagram as a photograph and tag. And it really had nothing to do with the Lolita fashion. Because again, like, this person does not mention a dress whatsoever, ever. There's no mention that this person even knows that you have to wear dresses for the fashion. The crux of Lolita is that it is a fashion. It is the clothes. You can be a Lolita and not do any of those other things. You do not have to go out with friends. You don't have to drink tea. You don't have to enjoy tea whatsoever. You can be completely removed from the idea of tea and snacking and eating certain things and going certain places, going out with friends. You don't have to go out with anyone to be a Lolita. Like, these are all different things that, like, this person didn't seem to grasp, because the only thing that I can imagine was on her mind was the idea of Instagram followers and social media followers and just like the attention of being a Lolita. And that's kind of like one of the things that kind of annoys me about the increase in popularity of Lolita, is that there are certain people who are clearly only into it just to like have the title of Lolita. Like, it's like this exquisite title, like just saying you're a Lolita like puts you in some sort of sphere or something, which I don't get. I've never really like thought about it being like a super amazing thing to just be called a Lolita. But like, you see this with like this influx of people who just really like general like kawaii Japanese fashion and will tag it Lolita, or like just call it Lolita, or they will show up in the Lolita subreddit and be like, here's my Coord, and it's not Lolita whatsoever. It has nothing to do with Lolita. There's no petticoat, there's no silhouette, there's no like blouse, there's no anything suggesting that it's trying to be Lolita other than that it's very cute. Which, please understand, if you're new to the fashion, Lolita is under the kawaii umbrella. Not everything that's kawaii is Lolita. Like, the kawaii fashion sphere with Fairy K and all of those other J fashions, that's under, kawaii, J fashion. Lolita is under that. Lolita is not like the top pinnacle, and all this other cute stuff falls into it. So you can't just show up wearing Fairy K and just cutesy things and wanting to say that you want the Lolita lifestyle and be a Lolita. Like, that's just not how it works. And it's that's the thing that for me is that I don't get why that's a problem. Like, why do you need the label Lolita? Like, why do you have to be a Lolita? That's the thing for me. Like, I don't get why you can't just be wearing your cutesy little fashions and not call it Lolita because that's not what you're wearing. Like, that's just the thing for me. It's like, I never understand people who say they want to be in Lolita fashion while not liking anything about Lolita fashion. Like, they don't like the rules, they don't like that they have to wear certain things, they don't like that they need a petticoat, they don't like that, you know, there are rules. And they're like, they just get mad at us for trying to keep the rules and enforce the rules and keep the fashion as something that we all enjoy. And they just get upset about that and saying, well, I don't want to do that, but I still want to be a Lolita, and I should be allowed to do that because Lolita should be whatever I want it to be. And it's just not really how it works. If I were to say that I wanted to be in, like, hip-hop fashion or goth, alternative, things like that, I couldn't show up wearing this. Like, this would not go over well. I could not just be like, well, goth is whatever I want it to be. All this whatever I want it to be. So if I want it to be bright pink and yellow, what can it be? Like, I'm pretty sure those people would have a problem with that. And rightfully so. So when, like, the only reason you want to be a Lolita is for your Instagram clout because you think the cutesy aesthetic is, like, the wave. I mean, it's just, like, no one in the Lolita community is going to take you seriously, which is, like, isn't that the point? Like, isn't the point to get more followers and stuff? Like, people who are into Lolita. So, like, what's the point in, like, removing everything that Lolita's like about Lolita and trying to still claim that it's Lolita? It's just, like, it's a little sus. It's a little sus. It's a little weird for me. Like, so I just don't get, like, those people that just spawn in out of nowhere. And you can just tell that they have no real interest in Lolita because all they're talking about is the stuff that they can post on Instagram. And it's just annoying to me. And like I said, I'm not saying that this is, like, some massive epidemic. Like, I can't even remember the last time I saw this happen. Like, this year, like, I think the last time I saw it was probably someone posting, and it was last year that it popped up. But, like, it's still just kind of annoying to me that people will look at Lolita as something that they can just, like, slide in and use it for the clout that they think, they perceive that it's going to give them, when in actuality, like, it's really not. Like, being a Lolita is not, like, some special, like, right or thing like that. Like, you just, if you understand the fashion, and you're putting in an effort to learn it and wear it, then you can be a Lolita. And if you don't want to do that, then you don't have to. But you can still like cute things, you know what I mean? Like, the Lolita label title is not important at all. So I don't know why people like hyperfixate on wanting that title. It's just kind of weird to me. It has the same energy as, like, and this is gonna be maybe a weird example, but, like, when it comes to K-pop, there are some people who, like, during this, like, wave of, like, third gen stands in, like, 2014 to, like, 2016, maybe a little bit after that. Like, it kind of seemed like it started rounding down in 2017, where there would be these K-pop fans who were obsessed with, like, numbers. Like, they started standing groups, like, we all know who they are, the BTS fans, the Blackpink fans, the Twice fans. It was about like those three. And they just were, like, obsessed with, like, views and numbers and charts. And, like, if they were ranking high on a chart, that was all they talked about for, like, 3 or 4 days. Like, the Visa video would come out, and all they cared was about getting the most views in the first 24 hours. And they wanted to, like, have the most comments in the first 24 hours. And the most, like, the video would be trending all day, and they were just getting all these views. And it would be, like, and further than that, they were, like, if they were winning awards, like, they were, like, just praising all the awards they were getting, and all the music show wins they were getting, and just all the, like, success. It was all about the success of the group. And, you know, they would also, like, I mean, it's not to say that all they cared about was numbers, but they would also be, like people who, like, are, this is, like, a group of people, okay? So first it was the people who only care about numbers, but then you have these other group of people that are on the side, and they also care about, like, they like to watch the variety shows, and which is fine. They like the variety shows, and they like the, you know, just, like, radio appearances, and, you know, just, they watch, like, the compilations on YouTube of all the members having fun with each other, and all of that is fine. But I'm just sitting back thinking, do you listen to their music at all? Like, do you at any point in the day care about their music? Because that was the era when I really started to realize, because I'm more of a Gen 2 stan. Like, most of the groups that I listen to these days are Gen 3, but, like, I started listening to K-pop during Gen 2, so that was during the era where you, like, really cared about, like, the music, like, good music. And it just seems like a lot of third gen stans, from what I could see, like, the music was kind of, like, secondary, which is not, like, I mean, you do you stand a group for whatever reason you want, but I personally could never stand a K-pop group and not like their music. Like, it's just not, it's not negotiable for me. If there's a group out there, because people would always, like, try to get me into, like, groups like, no offense, they'd be like, Twice is super popular, you should, like, get into Twice. And I'm like, I don't like their music. No offense to any onces out there, they're just not my style. I don't really care for that type of music. And people would be like, but they're super popular, and they're getting all these sales, and they're, like, the top group, and they're all this popular, and it's like, they can be the most popular group on the face of the planet, I don't care much for their music. So it's like, for me, the biggest thing is like, if you're not caring about the musical aspect of the K-pop group, what are you there for? Like, you're not listening to the live performances. You care about the wins, and you care about the success that they're getting on these shows, and you care about that aspect of it. But if you don't care about the music itself, I'm not seeing like what is keeping you listening to the group. If it's just numbers, then it's like, those are not going to last forever. Like, at some point, your group is going to lose popularity, and there's going to be new groups that are going to come and take on that. So I'm really struggling to find a place for this one. You guys can see that. But, like, at some point, a new group is going to come and take your group's, like, popularity. So, like, if you're just standing for numbers, it's not going to last forever. So, like, I'm just going to put it at the bottom. I'm really trying not to put it this far down, but, like, I guess that's what I'm going to have to do. But, like, yeah, the idea that, like, the music of the K-pop group is, like, the last thing on your mind. I need to move this so you guys can see it. I might just actually put it on. But, yeah, the music being, like, the last thing on people's minds is kind of, like, a concept that it's just not something that I'm used to. Like I said, Gen 2 K-pop was kind of, like, the music was, like, the more important aspect of it. Like, you would talk about the group songs. Like, these days for K-pop groups, like, newer groups, like, I rarely see people talking about the music. Unless it's, like, on the music video. But, like, there was this era, and I think now we've kind of come back to that, but, like, back then, like, that was this era of, like, just people only caring about, like, the numbers, the success, the just ability to get some sort of popularity and clout off of standing this group. Like, you were you felt good because your group was popular and you could brag about them. That's how I feel about these lifestyle Lolitas, to get off of that super long tangent. That's how I feel about these lifestyle Lolitas who are lifestyle Lolitas, but just for clout. Like, they're just Lolitas because they think it will get them some sort of just notoriety, some just internet fame, just something, some sort of level of internet, like, popularity, I guess, is the best way to describe it. Because, like I said, you know, being a Lolita in itself, in this era of aesthetics and cutesy things, is, you know, pretty easy way to, like, jump yourself into that, like, sphere. But again, on the same token, like, if you don't actually care about the fashion, that's kind of where I have a problem with it. Like, not on a personal level, like, truly, you can do whatever you want and I can't stop you, but, like, it's just kind of like, you know, we as Lolitas, you know, we work hard to, like, maintain the rules and just, like, where Lolita has come from Japan and all that and everything that the fashion has maintained, and also have added a cultural aspect to it, and that we like to go to museums, we like to go shopping, we like to go have tea parties, we like to go have meetups, we like to just go do things out in the wild dressed in Lolita, and that's what we like to do. And another thing, while on that topic, the process of coordinating. You go out and the idea is to show off your Coord. People who take Coord shots, like, they will do a sea-themed Coord, a marine-themed Coord, and they'll go to the ocean and they'll take pictures by the ocean in Lolita. And, like, the whole, like, thing is that they're showing off their ability to come up with a coordinate that goes with something, that has, like, a vibe to it, an aesthetic to it, and that's, like, kind of the point of it. Whereas you have these other people where the clothing is kind of like the last thing on their minds. Like, for people like me, like, when I put on a coordinate, like, I'm planning it out, like, I want it to be, like, the whole shebang, especially when it's something like this, where you're getting OTT. I'm wanting to plan that out from top to bottom. And, like, all the other stuff, like, okay, am I going to actually leave my house? You know, that's not really as important to me. You know, as long as I'm enjoying the fashion, that's all that really matters to me. Whereas with these lifestyle Lolitas for clout, it's really just about the clout aspect of it, and where can I be seen, and then tag it Lolita, rather than worrying about any sort of coordinate, worrying about any sort of brand. And when I say brand, I don't mean, like, Angelic Pretty Baby. I mean, like, any brand. Like, these people don't even ask about, like, cheap alternatives like Taobao. Like, they don't care. They probably don't even know that Taobao exists. Like, they probably don't have any desire to learn how to buy from Taobao, or even Taobao resellers. Like, they really, the last thing on their mind is acquiring a dress. That is the last thing that they care about. They care about, I gotta buy all my teacups, I gotta buy the freshest brand of tea, I gotta put flowers all over my walls, I gotta put, like, pastel. My whole entire interior has to be pastel and bright and cutesy, or if you're a gothic Lolita, it has to be dark and blue and navy and all this other stuff, or it has to look like the Renaissance if you're into classic, which, again, all these things are superficial because 9 times out of 10 these people don't know anything about the substyles they may know classic and they may know sweet. And they may know that gothic Lolita is a thing, but they may not, like, on the top of their head think about gothic and Lolita. They're probably thinking about sweet because that's what gets the most attention on social media. So they're probably going to go for the whole pastel aesthetic, and they're going to get something like this, which is so cutesy and there's flowers all over it to put all their accessories in, where they don't know where they're going to get the accessories from because they don't know anything about buying Lolita. And so they want to get all the aesthetics and they want their whole room to be a Lolita aesthetic. And then at the end of the day, they're going to be like, okay, so how do I like acquire the Lolita-ness in terms of the clothes? Which to me is why I think that this is like a thing that people try to do for clout, because the Lolita aspect of it is extremely expensive on its own. So when your goal before even once trying to pick up a dress is to change your whole entire aesthetic in your layout for your photographs to look very nice and pretty and cutesy and Lolita, I think it has a lot to say about where your priorities are. So again, like I said, I don't think this is like some massive, huge epidemic that's going on. I don't see this too often. Like I said, the last time I saw this was quite a while ago, but this is really why I respect our like well-known Lolita lifestylers like Rose Quartz Royalty and like Asami Moon, like actual Lolita lifestylers who care about the fashion, who have been in the fashion for years, who have been wearing it. They like teach people about how to wear the fashion, like people like them who are really like educated about it, and like the main focus for them is the fashion. They know how to navigate the sphere, they know where to buy dresses, they know how to sell dresses, they know all the ins and out of the fashion. And there's a lifestyle aspect to it where they go out and they wear it, where they post pictures of themselves wearing it, where they are more within the right to tag it Lolita because they understand the fashion and they can tell others about the fashion and how to wear it and how not to wear it. Whereas these lifestyle people, these Instagram people who woke up yesterday and found out Lolita exists and it's like, yo, that could give me a bunch of followers, I want to do that. And then they just jumped on it because they were like, yo, I need to be a Lolita too because they have all the followers and I want all the followers. And if I just tag my stuff Lolita and just dress really cutely, then I can be a Lolita too. And it's like, no. Like, not to be a Lolita gatekeeper, but I'm kind of low-key, high-key a Lolita gatekeeper. Like, no offense. No offense, that's kind of who I am. I'm sorry, I know some people have a problem with, like, the idea of gatekeeping something, which, like, I don't think of gatekeeping Lolita, specifically Lolita, as a bad thing, because if you allow everything to be Lolita, like nurse costumes and maid costumes and things like that, then it's not even Lolita anymore. You kind of lost what Lolita actually is. And some people try to say that, like, oh, it's never gonna happen, but, like, the second you get someone's maid adjacent Coord, which breaks like 4 or 5 rules, and you're like, oh, let it slide, then someone's gonna come up with a maid costume and say, well, that maid costume allowed it in, why didn't you let mine in? And that's why I think Lolita needs to stick to the basic foundations of the Lolita fashion, and if you understand the rules, then you are allowed to break the rules. But that doesn't mean you can just like redefine fairy K and casual general kawaii wear with no petticoat at all and say that it's Lolita just because it's more convenient to you when you want to go out on the street with it and take your Instagram pictures, because a petticoat takes up a lot of space. And that's why you don't want to wear the petticoat, because you have to go and take your pictures on the picnic that you just set up outside on your house, because that's totally what you do every day, and you have to make the pictures look nice, and a petticoat is just getting in the way and it's just taking up too much space. Well, that's how I know that you're not a real Lolita, because as Lolitas, we love taking up space. We love taking up all the space in the world. I knock over things every time I walk out of this room to take my Coord shots, and it's great. I love that. I love that aspect. I am a poof monster. The only reason why I'm not today is because I'm wearing my skirt, so I have to wear a smaller petticoat, but I'm still taking up as much space as possible. See, this is the Lolita test. This is the Lolita test. If you have a problem taking up massive amounts of space, see, that's the test. I'm kind of joking because there are, of course, some types of Lolita where you don't wear a huge petticoat, but that's just what I'm saying. You know, the general, to close this out because I'm more than finished my Coord by now. If you're interested in the Lolita fashion, you are more than welcome. We are happy to help you out and teach you about different sub-styles and how to put together a coordinate and how to budget yourself accordingly so that you're not overspending. We are more than welcoming to those types of people, and we want to have as many of you guys in the community as possible. Whenever it comes to those of you who just want to be in the fashion because you want Instagram followers and clout and to take pictures and to just get something, just stick to kawaii wear. Just stick to the kawaii fashion. Just stick to just cutesy clothes. You know, you just don't have to say you're a Lolita. Don't group yourself in with the Lolitas anyway. You don't want to be one of us. You don't want to be a part of this, all of this. You don't want to be a part of all of this. But that's gonna be it for this Get OTT with me. Here is the coordinate. Let me try to stand up and show you a little bit more of it. And then I will have some Coord shots and I will put them right here so you guys can see the full look. I'm wearing my macaron OTKs from Roji, and they are, of course, the yellow-pink combination. And I'm going to have on some my little bat shoes from Garuru, and you will see those in the Coord shots on the side. And then we are going to be ending off this video. So thank you guys so much for joining me for another Get OTT with me. Let me know in the comment section below what you feel about this whole lifestyle Lolita but just for clout group of people. Like I said, I don't think there's too many of them, but if you know of some, don't name drop anyone. Don't try to like destroy anyone unless they're like scamming people or something weird like that. Like we're not trying to cause drama or conflict or anything like that on this channel. It's just a thing that I thought about talking about, and I never had a chance to really like make a video on it on its own, so I thought I would just shove it into one of these Get OTT with me sort of videos. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you think about that, what you think about, you know, just the general conversation at large, and I will be happy to see you guys in another video next week and throughout the rest of summer. So with that, bye bye. Okay, one more thing I forgot. I recently got a new purse. I got this off of Lace Market. I think the seller said it was from Hot Topic, but I've been needing a heart-shaped bag that can go with everything that's not black. So finally I have this pink one, and I think it will go great with this coordinate, so I'm gonna try it on for the Coord.